Hello, everyone, and welcome to Intro to Python. My name is Anish, and I am your host for the series. Last class, we worked on while loops. Hopefully, you guys learned a bit about while loops and got some time to practice in order to get a better understanding. Again, if you have questions or want to show us some projects, feel free to leave it in the comments or email it to us. Now, let's move on with today's topic, shall we? Last class, if you remember, I had said there's two different kinds of loops. There's while loops and there's for loops. And today we are going to be looking at the second type of a loop, which we call for loops. Now, before I explain what a for loop does, I want you guys to look at this question. We have a code that takes a name as an input, so it can be any name. I have already done that here. It takes any name, which is a string, as an input. And if the name So if the name that you take as the input has the letter A in it, so A for apple, if it has that letter A in it, you have to print your name has the letter A in it. And if you do this every time the A appears in the name. So for my name, for example, it's Anish, you would print your name as an A in it once because my name has an A in it once. But um, let's say my name was Nisa. I don't, I'm pronouncing that wrong, but Anissa. Then you would print your name as an A in it twice because I have one A and two A. Now, what I want you guys to do quickly is just think, how would you do this? Think about all the knowledge we've used before. So we've used for loops, no, it's not for loops, sorry, we've used while loops, if else statements, inputs, variables. How would you do this? Take your time. Pause the video right now if you need to. Okay, you guys thought about it? Great. So yes, obviously I get that everybody needs to know we have to have this line. And everybody needs to know we have this line, and I'm sure everybody thought it's that. But what do we do after this? Could we use a while loop? Not really. I don't think a while loop would work here. So before we think about how to do this, let's just write pseudocode. So what is pseudocode? For those of you who don't know, pseudocode is just where you make where you write basic steps of what your code will have to do before actually writing it in a language. So a code has to iterate through the name. And by iterate, we basically mean go through every character in the name. So if I was to iterate through Anish, I would do A, then I would do N, then I would do I, S, H. That will iterate through the name. Then I need to check if the letter is A. And finally, I will have to print the name has an A in it. Now, I'd advise writing pseudocode for any code you write, as this can actually help you put your ideas together and better understand your task. So, how do we do this? We know we can't do this with the information you already know. It's time to learn something new. We can do this through something called a for loop. That's right. So basically, what a for loop does is, like like our pseudocode asks us to do, it iterates through it iterates through string variables or even any type of variable, to be honest. So firstly, a for loop is a loop that runs for the length of the variable's length. So it runs as long as there is characters in the variable. So for example, if I was to run a for loop in Anish, it would run 5 times because there's 5 characters in Anish. So there's A, then I, N, then I, then S, and H. So it would run 5 times because there's 5 characters in Anish. And what you can do with a for loop is you can actually put a condition in it. So, let me just, I feel like I can write this better than I can explain this, and you'll understand because explaining doesn't always work for programming. So, let me start writing, shall we? So, syntax goes for in name. Okay, a little confused? Don't worry. All I'm saying is for I. When I say I, or no, wait, let me say for I. Let's make it better. For character or letter. Actually, yeah. For letter and name. So what is letter here? Remember, I feel how we talked about variables and them having different values. Well, letter is basically just another variable, but it's a variable you create within the for loop. So now when I do this, I can use variable here. So I can say letter, print letter, and what it'll do is it'll print every character of my name. Remember how I said a for loop iterates through the variable? So the value of letter will constantly keep changing. So in the first iteration, or the first time it runs, it will be at A, so the value of letter will be A. But the second time it runs, the value will be N. Third time it will be I, then it will be S, then it will be H, and it'll keep going. So if I say print letter, it should give me ANISH. If I that's what I enter as my name, of course. So let's see, I enter my name to be Anish. It'll give me ANISH. So I hope this gives you a better understanding of for loop. Now let's try and solve the problem at hand, shall we? First things first, I have to do this. Never forget convention. So we can print this, but what we have to do, we have to iterate through the name, which you're already doing through for letter and name. We have to check if the letter is A. So we can do that by simply writing letter equal to again A. So again, what we've done here is we've said letter if letter, which is going to change through every iteration. If it's double equal to A, which we explained what it is in the last class, is basically saying if it has the same value as, and string A, which is going to be what the value of letter is going to be in the first position here if I was to enter the name in each letter A. So I would say if I would use an if statement here, of course. So if letter equals to A, then I would say print, and I can simply write my message. Sorry. So all we've done is theoretically we have used a for loop to iterate through the name, and we've checked, oh, what is the value here? Oh, is it A? If it is A, then all we're doing is going to the next line, printing a name as an A in it. And if it's not A, it's just basically going on back to the top of the for loop. And this will keep going until and unless the loop has run more times than the length of the characters in the variable. Simple? I assume. I assume it is, because honestly, these are again like very basic concepts that play a big role as you start doing more Python. So let's run and see if our code works. Let's enter a name. Let's enter a different name, shall we? Mark. The name has an A in it. Now let me enter a name with two A's in it. So if I was to say Alicia, the name has a letter in it. Oh wait, oh that's because I put capital A, my bad. So Alicia, the name has a letter A in it twice. And let's say I was to put somebody's name without a letter in it, it would do, let's say I said Henry. Nothing. Simple. I hope so. So thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This was Intro to Python for Loops Lecture 6. Hope to see you all next time. And for your homework, I'd say we've done a program where you're printing your name has the letter A in it. Before next class, I'd like you all to just try using for loops to print how many times the name A appears. So rather than printing this, I would like to print a statement that says the name has X number of A's in it. And that X should be able to change. So for like my name, it would just show 1, but for Alicia, it would show 2, and for Henry, it would show 0. How we would do this, I'm just going to tell you the pseudocode again, a thread to the name, set another variable outside. So set a variable called num, which is 0. And as you're getting in it, if letter equals to A, try adding to the number or anything like that. That is in your own logic. And next class, we'll try and go through this. Okay, that was all for today. Hope to see you guys next time. Bye.